There we go. So many technical problems. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Welcome everybody back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ellie. Most people call me Els. And my second monitor just decided to turn off for no reason. Literally just now. So I'm going to run on a single monitor, which is fun because I've now got a new monitor, which arrived about 25 minutes ago, which I set up. So I don't have my TV, which was 4K and huge. I'm now on a standard monitor. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what is going on. Let's do our hellos. We've got 10 minutes until we get going with the flight session. So what are we doing today? We are basically doing some formation flying. So I'm part of the females in flight simming group called Skies and Dolls. And the last time we flew, I was flying in formation because that's what I do. And a lot of people were like, how the hell are you doing that? Like, I can't fly in formation. I don't know how to. I was like, okay, well, how about I put a course together for you? I've taught air cadets in the past, for those that you don't know. I put together a flight motion platform system for the Royal Air Force Air Cadets. And yeah, that went really, really well. I put a whole training syllabus together for that. So I'm kind of loosely doing some of that on this. I want to make it fun. I don't want to make it laborious, boring. I just want it to be fun. So people get to learn, they get to know how to fly in formation, the things to look out for. That kind of stuff. So I've also got a thing on screen which I'll pop up, which is a document I wrote over the last few days. So yeah, I've got all tech problems. So at the moment, everything's on this monitor. It's a 27-inch monitor because my 34-inch curve blew up. So I've got a 27-inch curve. It's a lot smaller, but it's really crisp graphics. It's amazing graphics on there. So I can carry on working, and literally 5 minutes ago, my second monitor, which is here, which I normally have my Discord and OBS and everything else on, has just gone and switched off. I don't know. Poltergeist in the house, I think. Someone's pulling cables. Something's going on weird. So, yeah, other people are going to come and join me. I'm not going to stream their voices. So if you hear me talking back to them, it's because I'm talking to them in Discord. But I'm not going to stream their Discord. But I'm going to be running through how to do formation flying, essentially, in Microsoft Flight Simulator. 2024, it's not the old one, it's the 2024 version. I'm going to run through some of the do's, the don'ts, how to fly formation, and then we'll get up and flying. Like, I don't want to be on the ground too long. The whole point of formation flying is that you enjoy flying and you enjoy flying with other people. You might notice I've got a weird thing sticking out of my head, like the Ball Collective have arrived. I'll show you in a minute in sim what that actually does. It's a head tracking system, so when I move my head like this, I'm looking around in sim, so I can look around the cockpit, I can look out the windows, I can do all of this kind of stuff. So you'll see that in sim. It's not just a weird appendage that I've decided to stick onto my headphones. It is a head tracking system called Track IR. So let's jump to the game. I'm going to turn the music off because I'm going to be talking and stuff. But I fancied a little bit of Top Gun music while I was doing it. We might play some of this later on. I might jump in if I got a P51, I think I've got the P51. We'll jump in this and we'll do some Top Gun Maverick flying around Nevada or something. We'll see how we go at the end of the session. The tuition, if you want to call it that, the session is going to be about an hour to 2 hours. We're flying around the southeast coast of England, my home coast. I will show you where I'm currently living. I'm sure we fly over the top of it. But yeah, the whole idea of today is basically have fun, do that. So if I keep looking down here, it's because I've now got my phone down there because my iPad won't stay switched on. Like, I'm literally having tech nightmares today, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. So if I miss chat, apologies. It's because I'm concentrating on the flying stuff and it's down here, but I'll go back through the chat and see if there's any questions. I know Sloth was going to be watching and wanted to ask some questions and stuff as well. So we'll do that. So let me jump into the sim. I'm going to stop the music. Hey, little pretty cat. Thank you, Lady Gaga. There we go. We'll stop the music. So as you can see, as I'm moving my head, I'm moving up, down, left, right. You can see that I'm actually looking in the game. I'm going to minimize chat. I'm going to minimize OBS. Go back to this. I'm going to open up on Discord because people are going to be coming on anytime soon. Hopefully people will join me. If not, this is going to be me flying around. So yeah, I did say 7 o'clock, so it's 5:02. No one else is here yet. And I hope everyone's got their aircraft set up. So this is what we're going to be flying today. This is the Cessna 172. It has the Garmin 1000 unit in there and the special skies and dolls livery. It's a nice stable aircraft. It's a beautiful one to learn to fly formation on. We'll jump into the aircraft. So there we go. So it's high wing, so the visibility is pretty good in here. It's quite a compact, tight cockpit. Oh, my phone's playing audio. Let me just mute that. There we go, so we don't get any feedback. Slot, let's fly away. L's flying high. We need to get B to sing that. I can't sing it. B needs to be able to sing that. Definitely. But yeah, we're going to start off in the C-172 just because it's a nice, easy aircraft to fly. And yeah, it's a high wing aircraft. Let's jump back outside and do a quick walk around. So yeah, it's a high wing aircraft, which is kind of a staple, like the Cessna 152, the Cessna 172 is a staple aircraft you learn to go flying in. So if you did a flying lesson, if you did an experience fly, this is what you'd be flying in, is one of these things. So yeah, we'll jump back in. Open the door, get in the cockpit. So yeah, pretty standard cockpit. We're going to hide the yoke so you can see what's going on. As I said, I've got a head tracking system. Let me just reset my view. There we go. I've got a head tracking system so I can look around in the cockpit. It's called Track IR. It's this little thing on here. It's an infrared receiver sitting on the top of the monitor just next to the camera. And basically, if I move backwards, it moves backwards. If I move forwards, up, down, left, right, it moves all around. There's my lovely co-pilot. So yeah, that's pretty much the cockpit. We'll get going in a minute. We'll wait for some other people to turn up. I did say 7 o'clock starting, so we've got a few minutes yet for them to turn up. If they don't turn up, we'll go flying until somebody does turn up. And I will explain to you some of the formation stuff that we're going to be doing today. So yeah, I'll stay out the aircraft for now. Just wait for other people to come up. But yeah, it's pretty much standard. You know, we've got standard ailerons. We're going to do a pre-flight checks. We're going to check our elevators. Yep, they're all working well. We'll check our rudder. Rudder is new. That's good. We'll just check this side as well. They are interlocked and interlinked, but we just double check that as well. Let's check the flaps because we will need those. Yep, that one's good. And we'll check out aileron. There we go. That one all the way up. We'll go around to the other side. All the pins and plugs and everything else are removed. Let's check our tyres. That is good. Front tyre. Nose gear tyre is good. We don't need to check the prop. We'll check it for any dings and things. So we basically have a look. A few scratches, but it's all looking good. That's fine. The lights are all looking good. A little bit of stuff on there. I'd probably wipe that, but I don't have a cloth to do that. All the covers are removed. That's good. We need to check this aileron and these flaps. So we'll check our left aileron. Yep, they are all good. And we'll check our left flap. Cool, we are good. So everything is looking good. Everything is secure. Everything is closed. Everything is locked. We'll make sure the baggage door is locked and closed, which it is. And we'll get back into the aircraft. Look around the cockpit. Let's make sure we've got no bags and loose stuff on the back, because if we bank around and roll around, that all looks good. Can I look over this shoulder? I can. This is the beauty of this head tracking system, is you can do this kind of stuff and look behind you. It's a very, very cool system. I'm just going to reset my view to the center. That's cool. So we've got a minute till we start the lesson, and I'll start talking through it, and we'll see if anybody is turning up. Let me just check Discord. Otherwise, I've been talking in here on stream about how we're doing formation, which is absolutely fine. I do not mind that. I know a few people did want to join today. Ba, 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 ba. General chat. There we go. What's going on my phone? Stop. I don't want activity feed. I want my chat. Give me chat. There we go. Yeah, having a real tech problem today. I don't know what it was. Like my monitor blew up 2 days ago, so I've been using the TV for work yesterday and today. And now this monitor's mucked up. There's a podcast in the house. Right, let's ping peepers. Events channel, events channel. Bum, 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 bum. Now my Discord's mucking around. What is going on? Well, 5 people tagged saying they were interested. So let's just ping. Why can I not ping? General, general. There we go. At events, heading up. Ready for formation, flying. Now, come in sim if you are joining. Did I put the right times? This has now got me thinking, did I post the right stuff? I'm sure I did. I've posted like a reminder about it this morning. Let's just double check. Flight planning. This evening, 1800 Zulu, which is 1900 British summertime, 8 p.m. Central European summertime, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I did post that. It's fine. EU West. Let's make sure I am on EU West, because that would be really embarrassing if I'm on the wrong server. Online. Yeah, West Europe. Let's just double check. West Europe, North Europe, East. Yeah, Western Europe. That's what we were on the other day. That is fine. No one's in Discord yet as well, so I just assume that people will turn up when they can, which is fine. So let me talk about formation flying. I'm going to bring up the document that I wrote over the last few days. Sloth, if you'd like a copy, I will gladly send you a copy. And I want to teach you how to fly. I know you said you want to get Microsoft Flight Sim, so I want to teach you how to fly as well. Let's turn my mic up, not down, else. Where is OBS gone? There's OBS. Right. Formation flying. That's now disappeared. Why have you now disappeared? There we go. Are you up? Yes. There we go. Formation flying, Skies and Dolls guide. Hey Dutch for real, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Formation Flying, a 101. It's less than 101. Welcome in. So yeah, Formation Flying. So let's go through this. This is basically a guide I wrote over the last few days. It's not definitive, it's not finished. We will add stuff to it all the time. Any questions and stuff that come up, I'll make sure are covered in the guide as well. But this essentially, this isn't just for the Skies and Dolls, but this is a formation guide that will help most people. I don't go into a ton of detail because I'd rather teach that flying rather than having everybody read through a document. But this is like a handy guide, if you want to call it that. It gives you some definitions, it gives you some it's going to have the brevity in it. I haven't talked about that because we'll cover that at a later stage. For now, we'll just keep the chat loose rather than going into deep brevity. So I'm going to read off the screen. So if you see my eyes on this side, I'm reading off my screen. So basically, it's designed to make formation flying fun, help you understand some basic rules of formation flying, and I'll talk you through those and educate you on its uses. So why do we do formation flying? So the FAA defines formation flight more than one aircraft which, by prior arrangement between pilots, operate as a single aircraft with regard to navigation and position reporting. So typically, when you're flying, and the FAA is in US, we've got CA over here for the UK, and Europe have got their own as well, but it's the same principle no matter where you fly. If you are flying in two aircraft and you're going exactly the same destination, your friends flying together, you both don't want to be reporting all the time unless you're massively away from each other. So what you typically do is fly in formation flight together, and then the lead or the secondary pilot, well, there'll be by prior arrangement, prior agreement will basically say, I will take control of the comms, I'll contact ATC, you worry about the flying, or vice versa. I'll do the flying and I'll do the ATC comms. And essentially what it'd be, you would say something like air traffic control, Cessna C175, party of 2 or flight of 2, depending on your brevity and what you say. Basically, flight of 2, traveling from X to Z, and we're traveling at what altitude and everything else. So where you do your normal position reporting, you're doing flight 1 of 2 or flight of 2. That tells ATC there's 2 aircraft. Okay, you'll get 2 squawk codes. You can see the individual aircraft on there because one aircraft might break off and do their own things. You don't know that. I don't mean break off as in apart, breaking off, but they may fly away from you and go and do their own thing. So again, if you're doing up ATC, you would say, you call up ATC and say, aircraft 2 of 2 is diverting, blah, blah, whatever. You declare everything out to ATC. The idea of it is if you're in 6 ship, 9 ship, a massive great formation of 22, then you would basically fly in formation and you would communicate and navigate as one, as if you were one big aircraft. So if you look at the Red Arrows display, the Thunderbirds display, the Blue Angels display, the Dutch displays as well. OBS does hate everybody. They do. If you look at all of those displays, then they are basically flying as one formation. So the Red Arrows, when they're flying as 9, it's the lead pilot, Red 1, is communicating, he's doing all the navigating, everyone else is following. So there's not 9 aircraft reporting positions. The radio chatter would just get absolutely mad. That's the idea of it. So a standard formation is one in which a proximity of no more than 1 mile laterally or longitudinally, I have to think about that word, and within 100 vertical feet from the flight leader is maintained by each wingwoman. It said wingman. Obviously, I've changed that to wingwoman as well because this is a female group called Skies and Dolls, and we are a female group of flying and flight sim. So essentially, as long as you are within 100 feet vertically and 1 mile laterally, so you can fly 1 mile apart, that's fine, but you can still be a flight of 2 within 1 mile. But if you're outside of that, then you have to declare your own navigation and comms. Within that space, you can fly together in formation. So why do we formate? Well, we formate, it's pretty much what it says above. It's a formation flight can operate as one unit through the airspace. It's easier on ATC, it's easier on the pilot. So you can imagine if you've got 6 or 7 people flying with you, then 8 people are all on the comms, all reporting exactly the same position, the same altitude. There's no point. You just do it as one flight, essentially. So what we're going to do in this course will start with some basic formations. I need some people to fly with to show you the basic formations. So I'm going to show you through the document while people still turn up, if they turn up. If they don't, I will take off in the air and I'll explain certain things when I'm in the air. I'll do a lot of hand pointing and that kind of stuff and those kind of gestures. If anybody does turn up, we'll do some formation flying. So basically... for the course, we're going to do basic formations. We'll move on to complex ones, and including how to move. So we call it transition to move to different position in the formation. So if I'm on the wing like this, let's get my hand so you can see. I'm on the wing. Where's the camera? There's the camera. I'm on the wing like this, and I move to slot position behind. That's transitioning from echelon to slot. So that's what we call transitioning. Okay, and I'm not going to cover that today. That's going to be a much later stage. Right now, it's basically basic formation that we're going to talk about. There's some terms we're going to use throughout the entire course. Lead is the flight leader. That may not always be me. In the first instance, it will probably be me. I'm going to stick the autopilot on, and then people can form up on me. And forming up is basically coming into position. So they might approach from a different angle, a different altitude, and they're going to come and form up on me to create a formation or formated flight, basically. So I may not be the lead. So the other day on Linda's stream, Linda was taking the lead and I was flying off of her wing. But again, it's by prior arrangement or by agreement in the air that, okay, Linda, you take lead. And then I will reduce throttle, I drop back, Linda overtakes, I then come up and join up on her. So lead is essentially the flight leader. That may change, like I say, during the air. We have close, so that's tucked in very tight and very close. It could be just under the wing, very, very close, so like red arrows, blue angels, thunderbirds. Blue angels stupidly close, like 6 foot apart. That's close. Loose formation is further away. So lead is here, and the second and third and fourth and fifth are back from that. That's loose. Most of the time we will fly loose. Only if you get competent and you get close and you get good at formation flying do you start flying in close. You saw probably on Linda's stream the other day. I might record the bit of it and put it up on VOD. But basically I was flying extremely close. I was about 6 foot away. Ships, the number of aircraft in the formation. So it could be a 2 ship, a 3 ship, or a 4 ship. So if it's a 4 ship, there's 4 aircraft. If it's 3 ship, there's 3 aircraft. If it's 2, there's 2. If there's 1, it's solo. It's not formation. Drift. So the way I like to explain this is I am lead, I'm here. Okay, I'm flying in my own little bubble. I've got my bubble around me, and somebody's going to come and formate up on me. They're going to join up here. They are in their own little bubble. Okay, what drift means is that you define around your aircraft where that bubble is. You know if your wings are going to touch. If someone's wings going to touch my elevator, it's going to touch my tail. If someone's propeller is going to come up and chew my tail or chew my wing, something like that. So you stick within your little bubble. The red arrows, the blues, the Thunderbirds, they all do the same thing. All the aerobatic teams, you stick within your own little bubble. Now that bubble, you may be moving around because there may be turbulence, there may be wind, there may be doing all this stuff, but you're keeping formation within your bubble. When you're drifting is when you start drifting over towards somebody else, or you start drifting away. Very slowly, you're moving out of position. That happens a lot when you're doing a bank. So if we're coming straight like this and we turn to bank, this aircraft has to power up because they've got to use more power to basically defeat gravity to come around the turn. Similarly, if they're on this side of a banking, you've got to reduce power to come around. So you can end up drifting. When I was doing the virtual red arrows stuff, I was right out on the wing, and I was another 2 aircraft in between me and lead, and I'm right the way out here, and I'm trying to maintain that position all the way as we're banking around. I can guarantee I was drifting. Okay, that's drift, to explain it. What else have we got? Transition, like I talked about, moving from one position to the other. So moving from echelon to slot. We're going to talk about ladder and things later on, but moving it to slot, that's transitioning, or from slot back out onto the wing is transition. Reference point. So on an aircraft, there are reference points. The red arrows have really cool deck chord lines above them for the ejection canopy. It basically blows the canopy apart. You then eject out the top of it. Those deck chord lines, one of the deck chord lines is in the shape of a wing. And if you're in slot position, the wings of the hawk in front of you fit perfectly into that deck chord position. That's a reference point, essentially. You say your wings are going to fit inside that deck chord line. If you're on the side of the aircraft, you've got the RAF symbol on the side of a hawk. And what you do is you position the nav light on the wing. Imagine that's the wing. The nav light on the wing with the center of the RAF emblem, the O, essentially. So you're looking like this. You need to make sure you're in formation here. So my sight line, line of sight, my sight line is basically diagonal from my head past that nav wing into the middle of that O. If I know I'm too far forward, I can't see the O. If I'm too far back, I'll see too much of it. If I'm up or down. So sight references or reference points are very important when you're flying. I don't know what the reference point is in the C172. We'll find out when we start flying, when we're doing that. So that's reference points. Slot is the position behind, and we'll go through some of the other stuff. That's a nice easy one to remember. So if somebody's flying here, they're getting a little bit nervous and doing that, I'll say just relax and go to a loose slot position. So that means you're going to fly loose, you're not going to be as tight together, and you're going to come behind each other when you're doing this. So you're basically flying slot. I'm trying to get the perspective of the camera. There's the perspective of the camera, okay, like that. So there's lead and there's slot behind, and they're quite a way behind, so they can bounce around and bump around and do all of this stuff, and it won't matter a blind bit of difference to lead. They're not going to hit lead, basically. And one of the things with formation flying is if you are worried about that and you start getting too worried, the first thing to do is breathe. is relax and breathe, but also just take a little bit of space. If you're getting too close, don't worry about it. Just literally move in the opposite direction, take a little bit of space, communicate to lead saying, I'm going to transition to loose. And that basically means going from close back out to loose. I need a little bit of a break. I'm a little bit too het up. I'm a little bit too worked up. Whatever you want to say, you don't have to keep brevity short. Brevity is radio communication, basically, when you're talking, when you're doing that. So yeah, that slot. Break. So what you'll hear a lot of the times with most of the aerobatic teams is if you're coming in behind each other. So if you're, let's say you're in a, the red arrows do this. The red arrows fan out into a V or Vic shape, basically. And they'll do one for the break. And red one pitches up away from the formation. So the rest of the formation are here. Red one pitches up and then breaks left or right, depending on the runway. Breaks left, comes around to land. And then 2 comes up, 3 comes up, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So basically what happens is you're braking at different points, different lengths along the runway, so you avoid any confliction, you avoid hitting each other, basically. So Linda and I the other day, what were we flying? I was in the F18, I can't remember what Linda was in. I think Linda was in the Hawk or something like that. And basically it was 1 for the break, so Linda broke up, and around that, I extend, so I go further, and 2 for the break. So if you hear the word break, that's what it means, basically. Also with the things like the red arrows, the Thunderbirds, when they're coming down over the top and they come out and do a fan like this, you'll hear break, break, break. On the 3rd break, that's when everyone splits. Same thing, exactly the same thing. It's break. Olga! How are you doing? You want to come say hi? We're trying to survive through the heat. I hope you rest. I hope you do well, Olga. Have I missed any chat? Let's have a quick break here and see if I've missed chat. Dutch for real. I think I caught that one. Ba, 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 ba. Kate from Halloween Town. Oh god, I keep my phone. I'm so used to having everything on my second monitor. Technical problems, tech problems. Today was 30 degrees. Oh my god. Wow. That's hot. Cool. Okay, so that's some of the standard terms. There is a ton more terms when you're talking about formation flying. An absolute ton more terms. Let me just check Discord. No worries, people are quite tired. I fully understand that. That's not a problem. I can talk through this and we'll go flying. Not a problem at all. Absolutely not a problem. Cool. What else do we have? So that's break. Okay, some standard formation types that you'll see at most air shows and aircraft flying along with each other. This is very pictorial, this bit, but it gives you that. So again, no matter what formation position you're flying, you should always be taking reference from lead. So if you imagine the red arrows like this picture down here, there's lead in the front. Red 8, which will be down here at the back, is not looking at 4 or 2. They're looking at lead. They have their own reference point on lead. Now that may be through somebody else's aircraft. Because if you imagine, if everybody's in formation like this and number 2 starts wiggling a little bit because there's a bit of turbulence or wind, the next person down the line, number 4, is going to be doing it more. And by the time you get to 8 out the end, they're going to be doing this, which is not good for a formation display, basically. So you want to try and ignore the people in front of you and have your reference on lead. They're also staggered. You don't really see this from the ground, but all the aircraft are not on a flat plane. They are staggered. They're flying like this. The next one's down. The next one is down. They are staggered in a vertical position. From the ground, it looks like they're all in position, but it's designed to be that way, essentially. When I was training with the VRA, it was very much checking your position from the ground. No, you're out of position. You need to come down. Like, but I'm in position. No, you're not. You need to come down because it's from the ground point of view. What are you looking at? So yeah, no matter what position, you should always be taking your reference from lead, whilst also still keeping an eye on the aircraft close to you, because you don't want them drifting into you. You don't want to be drifting into them. So you're using peripheral vision not to do that, essentially, when you're doing it. And like I talked about, if they're bobbing up and down, it's going to accentuate right the way down the line, when you're doing that. Aircraft should be staggered in a safe vertical and horizontal position, away from each other, either close or loose. And again, I just talked about from the ground. It may look like everyone's there, but they're not. There are some exceptions to that. There's a red arrows formation where they are all completely in line with each other, and they're banking around like this, which one of the hardest maneuvers I ever did. Basically was doing this, trying to maintain that position, because you're maintaining your thrust is going forward and backwards like this to do that. No worries, no worries, no worries, no worries. You're in the parking lot. If you want to come up to, I am up, where am I? I'm up at runway 24 end. Just up. Where am I? Yeah, I'm just up at the runway 24 end. If you want to come up there and taxi up there, I'll do the explanation and then I'll jump in and we'll do some formatting. We'll do some formatting. Let's jump back in. I need my PDF back up. It's probably just been cool. Okay. Like I talked about, in our purposes, we're going to maintain horizontal and vertical spacing for safety. Everyone should have crashes and everything else switched off, so it doesn't matter if we fly into each other, but it can get quite disorientating if you're in a multiple formation flight doing that. So let's talk about some of the formation positions. So we've got echelon. So echelon is where two or more aircraft are staggered down from the wing lead, all on the same side and equal distance. It doesn't matter in formatting if you're not, but you want to aim for equal distance between each other. You can see there we've got echelon left, so lead is 1, then you have 2, 3, 4 off of the wing. Even on the 2 ship, the echelon left, so in the red arrows picture here, we've got 1 and 2 here, we're 1 and 3 technically. Red 1 and red 3, so 3 is off of echelon left, because red 2 always flies echelon right. We're doing that in the red arrows. The further away from lead, it's harder to get reference points, obviously from visual point of view. So the flight number 4 here is trying to maintain their visual reference on flight 1 when they've got 2 and 3 bobbing up and down between them. So it's very difficult to do that. If you can't see 1, then you take your reference off of the aircraft in front of you. It's like when you're driving. You don't look at the car in front of you, you look 3 or 4 cars ahead of you, basically, when you're doing that. Vic formation or V formation is when you're flying in 3s, 5s or 7s. It can be more, it can be 9 as well. You can see the reds there. No, the red is 7 there. But you can do it in 9 as well. You can do Vic right the way out. You can do huge formations in it, but typically 3, 5s or 7s. And it's a nice, safe, comfortable formation to flying. If you're flying long distances like the Raptors here, it's a pretty nice, comfortable position to fly in. You're flying loose, then you're in your own bubble, you're keeping an eye on lead, you're making sure they're the same altitude and going the same direction, basically. The same with these jets here, and the same with the red. So that's Vic or V formation. It's basically the leaders in the front, and then aircraft are coming off in a V shape. That's why it's called V, behind it. Diamond, this is the one you see most aerobatic teams doing. The Flecce Tricolore, the Italian teams, the Virtual Patrol, Patrol Suisse, the French. I completely forgot the name of the French Air Force. But yeah, we've got there the Thunderbirds, the Blue Angels, some Typhoons flying in diamond formation, which is awesome, and the Reds, as you typically see. So diamond formation is what it is. It's basically a diamond shape that's doing this. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on your formation that's agreed with lead. The blues fly extremely close. Like I've seen the videos from the cockpit, and they are so close to the other aircraft. It's mental. But that's diamond, and there's a 16 tornado formation in diamonds. I think that was one of the Jubilees or something like that. Yeah, Crown Copyrights. That's Jubilee flying over Buckingham Palace, probably something like that. But yeah, typically diamond formation. You can have multiple diamond formations flying as well. You can have a diamond formation here, a diamond formation off of that wing, a diamond formation off of that wing. Arrow is pretty much what it says. It's the shape of an arrow. A lot of these formations, a lot of aerobatic teams will use the shapes of objects or shapes of things. The red arrows used, they've got swan, which looks like a swan from the ground. They've got Vulcan, which looks like a Vulcan, tornado, typhoon. Like all of these formation names they come up with are basically formatting in a shape that looks like something. So arrow is exactly that. It's like Vic, that usually you have 2 aircraft in the slot position. You can have 1, but usually there's 2. So if there's 8 aircraft, you'd have 1 in the back, essentially. You can see there you've got the Canadian Snowbirds. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are in trail. For the red, 6 and 7 are in trail. But for the Snowbirds there, 4 and 5 are in trail. And you've got 7 and 6 right out on the wings and 9 and 8 through there. That's just their standard formation. The reason they do that is probably because the next formation they're transitioning into, they need to be in those exact positions. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't work that way, because 4 and 5 in terms of the Snowbirds may peel off and do their own display. 6 and 7 for the red arrows, synchro, pair, always go off and do their own stuff. So 6 and 7 normally behind, because they can then either pull up, drop out, split, do whatever they're going to do as part of that formation. And here we have, I think it's 22 hunters, 22 hunter aircraft that were in an arrow formation, which is absolutely madness. Looking at this, crazy to think that all those pilots are that close to each other. That's some serious training going on right there. There are other formations. I'm not going to go through a lot of those now. I'll add stuff to them, but again, aerobatics teams will have their own real world stuff. Fingertip formation or 4-finger formation is where there's 4 aircraft in looser formation than diamond. So diamond is quite tight. Even on a loose diamond, it's still quite tight. Whereas fingertip formation, you're not really worrying about the person next to you. You're just worrying about one aircraft instead of being, if you imagine you're in the middle of that tight diamond, you're enclosed around. So fingertip is a nice way to fly. So you'd have the lead. You'd have number 2 on the right wing, 3 and 4 on the left wing. You can do it the other way around. There you go. It's exactly the other way around there. You've got 2 there and 3 and 4 there. It can either be left or right. So again, most of the things are echelon left, echelon right, fingertip left, fingertip right. Pretty straightforward when we're doing that. Trail is when you are behind each other. And there's normally a little bit of a gap there. So let's turn my hands this way. So trail, you're like this. You can have multiple aircraft in trail when you're doing that. And it's any distance, trails at any distance separation, basically, when you're doing that. Ladder formation, which is similar to trail. You can see that we've got some A10s here. I was in a virtual A10 squadron and we used ladder a lot. And we did ladder up and ladder down. This is ladder down. So lead is in the front. The second one is further down. The third one is there. The reason for that is in the A10 is you've got a lovely window that sits here for your refueling, which you can look up and see that aircraft. So ladder down is perfect for that. Ladder up, it's hard to see the A10 in front of you, so you would do distance. You can see there the length of the ladder is between 2 and 4 nautical miles, and the vertical separation between the top and the bottom is 10,000 feet. That's a lot. 10,000 feet is a hell of a lot, and especially with 4 aircraft. Now you may stagger this if you had more. We used to fly in around about 16, and we used to be about 10,000 feet separation in 16 aircraft. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So that's ladder. We're not going to talk too much about transitions today, but transition is essentially that any movement is planned, it's discussed, it's executed smoothly and calmly. You don't yank the stick off to the right and suddenly peel off. Because there could be another aircraft there you don't even know is there. So it's basically saying, you can declare, I need to drop out of formation. If you're in position, the easiest way to drop out is basically just lower, pitch down. You can do that. You can pitch up and roll out, but you could, if you're in a jet, you'll have a lot of airflow behind that could disrupt other jets there. So typically, it really depends on what you're flying. It depends on who's flying with you. And what you're flying as well. Like in the Cessna 172, we wouldn't be breaking up and peeling off and doing all this kind of stuff. You wouldn't do it. In the P40, yeah, you can do it. It's got the power to be able to do that. So from fingertip, this is fingertip right, to echelon is basically number 2. So that's fingertip. Number 2 would switch and transition over, and 3 and 4 would move back and move down. So number 2 here would slot in here, and 3 and 4 would move backwards to give a gap for number 2, and then they're referencing off of 2 or 1 through 2. And again, from echelon right to fingertip right, 2 would basically would drop down, slide under the back of the tail of 1 and back up into position there, and 3 and 4 would then move up. So that's formation transitioning, basically. You're doing that. Here's the reds, the virtual reds. This is the slide that I put together. We went through the entire show. So from Phoenix to Big Vixen. So you can see there we've got number 1, 2, 4, and 8. 1 in the middle, 2, 4, 8 on the right wing, 3, 6, 9 on the left, and 7 and 8 in the back there. And that's going to Big Vixen. So you can see there that 2, 4, 8, 3, 6, and 9 are all in line with each other behind 1, and they'll be at the same vertical space as well. And 6 and 7 are back. And then what they're doing is they're moving into Vixen, so they basically slide back. It's just reducing the throttle while maintaining your positions and slide back. That is a formation transition, essentially. Reference points. Talk about reference points. Hey Jane, hope you're doing well. Welcome in, welcome in. So reference points. When you look at reference points, it depends on the aircraft you're flying. We'll look at the Cessna in a minute. We'll see if there's any good reference points there for doing that. But with the reference points, you're looking to see out of your cockpit, does this line up with this? And there's a typical RAF term, which is is the thing on the thing? So is that thing there over that thing there showing you're exactly in position? And that's what you want to try and maintain all the time. That's your sight reference, basically. So in this instance, you're looking out of the cockpit. Your head is in line with the tail. And you're looking straight down the wing. So you want to be able to see the leading edge of that wing right the way down to that jet, essentially. You can see here, very slightly lower as well. So slightly lower because, again, talked about vertical separation as well as horizontal separation. When you're looking at that. And you do the same kind of thing when you're doing aerial refueling, is when you're off the wing of a tanker, you're finding your reference points on the tanker. And also when you're refueling, this would be an A10 refueling here because it comes into the nose rather than the baskets in the toe that are bouncing around like this. You are looking at the tanker. You are looking at reference points on the tanker. And on the tanker, you actually have lines and lights and lines to line you up, basically. So you can say, I need to be able to see this and this big bit here, which I think is one of the boom arms. You have that reference particularly somewhere within your cockpit. That's reference. So that's the guide. It's quite a bit to it. I will expand on this in terms of brevity and all of that kind of stuff. But that's pretty much the guide. So we can close this. Close. We can get to the sim. Wait for the stream to catch up. There we go. So there's a lot to it. But Nova, how are you doing? I hope you're well. Oh, you're more than welcome, Jane. More than welcome. Jane is I think you lead or senior community manager for Microsoft. So yeah, we love Jane. Love Jane to bits. So let's have a look. Let's see outside our aircraft. Are we still alone up here? We are. Can I see anybody? Can't see any name tags. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate the follow. Followers are anonymous. Let's just check I am on the right server and I'm not being a dope. Settings. Whoa. Ali, thank you. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's just check. Western Europe. Yep, I'm on Western Europe. Hype train! What the hell? Gifting as well? Gifting 5 subs, thank you. We've got the hype train going on. Dancing. I don't dance. Thank you, Ali. What have we got here? Gifted a sub to Pyro. Oh, Pyro's got one call. This line, Barbarian. Crimsblade. The Shrubberduckery. We want a shrubbery. And Blazing Kenny. Alison, thank you so much for the gifted subs. I do appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are amazing. I'm doing very well, Nova. Thank you. I'm just doing a tuition stuff. Again, thank you so much for that. That is so nice of you to do that. Cool, I've caught up with chat. My second monitor went completely kaput today. So I've got a brand new monitor here, which arrived about 25 minutes before stream. And then my second monitor, I have all my Discord and OBS and everything else on, has gone kaput as well. So I'm having tech problems today. Cool, so let's go have a look and fly in the aircraft. Let me just have a look on Discord. Bam, ba, bam, 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 bam. West Europe as well, and to the left of me. You are more than welcome to talk. You are absolutely more than welcome to talk. No. Discord isn't stream. The Discord is not coming through on the stream. Because I know a lot of people don't like their voices. I hate my voice, but there we go. That's just me. Yeah. You can see me. Are you parked near me then? The lights. Why can I not see you? That's so weird. Yeah. Unless the planes are too close, but I got that set. Can you see me walking around? So no then. Okay, let's get up. Let's doing flight sim things. Let's get up and let's. Okay, I can't see you at all. But let's get in the air. It may be that. Have I done something stupid? Let me check my options. I did the whole long thing about everybody doing their own options, and did I do it right? Online. Aircraft type. Choose the populate the world with AI. That's AI. I don't care about that. Okay, don't worry about that. Air traffic and careers. Fine. Live weather multiplayer. Multiplayer is on West Europe. You can see me, which is weird. Show multiplayer and proximity. Mine was off because I'm a dumbass. I still can't see you, but let's get in the air. If you can't, the whole point of this, if you can see me, but if I can't see you, it might be tricky to actually help you. Let me check. How was that switched off? I switched everything. I was testing some stuff for work earlier, so I probably switched everything off then. Right, multiplayer on. West Europe on. Show multiplayer aircraft in close proximity. Yes. Let me come out and back in. You stay there, because it is probably me. You can't see the sim. That's good, because I'm in a load of menu options. Thank you, Sloth. That was me doing my hype train dance. There we go. Now you can see the sim. Right, I'm going to come back out to my menu. I'll come back in and we'll see if we can see each other. I'll spawn on the runway. You got me. Thank you, Sloth. Alison, thank you again. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. Antics to do in airliners. Ooh, I look forward to screenshots for that. Right, free flight. 172. We're going to go EGKB. If I can actually type L's. Big and Hill. We'll do runway 24. 21. Well, I've got 24 in my brain from earlier. Flight conditions, right, let me make sure all players is ticked, AI traffic is off, weather I said midday, pardon me, midday, clear skies, save and back, fly. Hopefully I spawn on the runway and hopefully I see you. Oh, we got a hype chest. Let's open the hype chest. What do we get? Open. Share. Oh, we got a new little emote. Awesome. That's a cute little thing.
Beacon Tower, ELL 228 Foxtrot Sierra 2024 at runway 21 ready for departure. Straight out departure.
That is cute. Okay, there we go.
DLL 228 Foxtrot Sierra 2024. QNH 101 tree departing straight out approved.
Do you see me on the end of
Cleared for
2-1?
takeoff runway 21.
Why do I not see you? Settings, assistances, visual assistant. Did I turn something else off? Bum, 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 bum. General, flight interface. HUD and external view. Show traffic nameplates is on. I'll cycle it. Do you mind popping out and back in again? Let me move off the runway. Let me go and park up over in this taxi area. Choo choo! Thank you for the hype train, Alison. I'm going to vacate the runway. Let's sit up a little bit. It's a little bit low. There we go. Vacate. We'll sit here for a sec. I'm going to load up on the fuel. We always have problems with multiplayer stuff. Configure. Full fuel. Load the aircraft. Thank you very much. Let's load up the flight plan. Hello. My tablet's gone wonky. What is going on with this today? Look, my EFB's not working now. My EFB's black. Okay, tell you what, let me come out of sim. This may be something to do with my mind. I'm going to come out of sim. Back in again. I'm going to switch the camera back to cat cam. We love technical problems. Okay, let's see what's going on. It's weird you can see me, but I can't see you. Let's go back into flight sim. Have a drink while it's doing that. So yeah, the main thing I was saying on formation flying is just relax, like it's enjoyable. We used to train formation flying in the A10s, and the flight lead we had was very much, it was ex-army, very regimented and very much, you will enjoy this. It's like, well, you're forcing me to enjoy it. Maybe I won't enjoy it. Because someone tells me something to do something, I do the exact opposite. I'm one of those brat children. And yeah, there we go. And there's a particular screen I can't show in Microsoft Flight Sim that I can't stream, so I'll make sure I'm not on it. And it literally got to the point where hardly anybody would turn up for the formation practice because they were just an arse about it. The whole point of it is it's enjoyable flying along. However close you want to fly, however far apart you want to fly, however much you want to scare Linda when you're flying with Linda, which is what I was doing in the P40 the other day. So yeah, it really is down to your comfort level. And the idea of these sessions, like I'll do this every Wednesday, the idea of these sessions is literally come and fly along. We'll do some fun flights. We'll pick some really cool places to go fly. Like we'll do through the Grand Canyon or something in a very loose formation. And essentially just enjoy it and just relax. Flying's supposed to be fun, even in a real aircraft. Every flight I've ever done in a real aircraft is look out the window and enjoy it. Don't keep looking down at the instruments. You know, don't worry about what you're doing. Be safe, obviously, but look out the window and enjoy it. Okay. Thankfully, this supercomputer from NASA is pretty quick. Okay, let's try this again. Big inhale. Runway 21. I'm just going to spawn in and see if you see me, and then I can set all of the bits and bobs. Bits and bobs. Let's just change the time. 12 o'clock. Right. Live players, all players. I can't even do live. Oh, live players if you don't change the time of day. Okay, that's fine. So all players, save and back, fly, back in the game stream. I have had this before where the aircraft doesn't show and then you start flying and suddenly it shows up, so we could try that. Yeah. But to help you with your formation, I kind of need to see your aircraft. Are you on the runway or... Okay, and that little parking area.
Biggin Tower, ELL 228 Foxtrot
I
Sierra
still don't see
2024.
you.
Ready for departing straight out at runway 21.
You see me. Why is my PC doing this? Let me check my settings. Online. Aircraft traffic type. Let's put real-time online. Yeah. We'll do that. West Europe. You're seeing me, so that is definitely working. Show multiplayer current close proximity. All that does is if you're close to each other, it doesn't ghost out, which is fine. Okay, I will, let me just load up on fuel and then I'll take off. Let's load the flight plan. There we go, that's working now. Let's load the PLN file from this PC. Everyone's just seen my name, but never mind. There we go, I'm just doxing myself, that's fine. Oh my word. Bum 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 bum. Skies and doors. Why is this not working? Skies and doors. There we go. Bam. Done. Send to aircraft. I need to see. Cool. Right, got it. Okay, I'm going to go up, stick autopilot on, and we'll see if you pop into view. So, full power, brakes are on. And we are rolling. Hopefully you pop up. I was flying the F-18 earlier. This is so slow compared to it. Swirly, how are you doing? Hope you're well. It's flying me. It is flying me. It's L's flying high. Whoa, that's a bad takeoff. Fix gear so gear doesn't come up. Not even on centerline anymore. I'm flying really badly today. Let's just trim the aircraft a little bit. Okay, give me just a second, just to trim this and then I can... Let's sync our heading. Let's put our autopilot heading. Okay, autopilot is on, flight director's on. I'm going to pop this onto nav so it will probably turn. Heading mode is on, no mode is on. It's fine. Okay, so let's have a look around us. Let's get the flaps up. Going to come back on the power. I still don't see you. You're in the Skies and Dolls livery, right? Why can I not see you? Wobbs, how are you doing? Right behind me, okay. I'm going to assume you're there. I can't see you, I'm going to assume you're there. Right, let me get this on autopilot nav mode. What we're doing, 67 knots, we're climbing up. Altitude. We want to go to 2,400 feet. 2400 is set. It's not following nav mode. That's fine. If I move the heading, does it roll? Yes, it does. Okay. Okay. We're nice and slow. We're at 65 knots. I'll keep it around about there so you can form up on me. So whereabouts are you positioned? Because I still can't see you. I'm still heading 200. Just coming up to the M25. I'm going to come right along the M25. So I'm coming to the right. And we'll come 270. So knowing I can't see you, I need to sort that out off stream at some point.
To 28 Foxtrot Sierra 2024. Leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Why, thank you. Let's acknowledge that. I'm not going to tune into the other one.
Biggin Tower, Yellow 228 Foxtrot Sierra 2024, frequency change.
There we go. I'm not going to worry about comms as well for now. Hello, Swabs. Hello. Yeah, we need to avoid London Gatwick down here as well. Why is my 1G1000? So that's altitude hold. We want VS mode on. Okay, let's try and keep our speed so we don't stall out the air. Okay, altitude is set, so that's fine. We'll climb up to 2,400. Bring the range out. So let's have a look outside the aircraft. I'm going to turn... That's what we're doing. So we've got some good reference points on this aircraft. You can see we've got the Skies and Dolls logo along the fuselage. More importantly, we've got the Skies and Dolls round emblem here. So if we were in the aircraft, we were looking out the front of the window. If I was formating up on somebody and I'm in loose formation, I'd want that Skies and Dolls logo around about here, so it's a good reference. So I'm looking very slightly left, which is what I'd be doing in the real world. I'd be looking left slightly like this. If I had the logo here, I'm going to be cranking my neck. So I don't want it, like, the perfect place would be in the top of this window up here, but I'm going to be cranking my neck all the time, especially in this aircraft. I'm quite tall, and I would certainly be up here in the roof. I wouldn't be able to see it. Okay, so for me, this is roughly about where I'd sit in the aircraft. I'd want a clear visibility of the aircraft, so the aircraft is going to be here in my window, and I would be saying, okay, well, what I can do, here's an air vent up here which is circular, which is cool. What I could do to get good formation is I want to match the Skies and Dolls logo on the side of the aircraft, this one here on the door, with that air vent, but just below it here. I don't need to worry about the rest of the aircraft. All I'm looking at, my reference point, is that logo in the same window, around about the same size as this, because I know that's going to be a good safe distance from that point of view, and have it there. Because if I sit back and look in this cockpit, for references, we've got edges of blinds that we could use, angles off of the blind here. We're doing it if we're on the side. We've got this frame here that we could use. If we're above, you shouldn't really fly above because you'll lose sight very quickly. You want to look below essentially. So you're using the top frame of your aircraft for that reference. Same thing, if I was on the left side of lead, I'm looking out over here, I would want to line up the Skies and Dolls logo with the air vent that's there. Because it's a nice round air vent, it's a good one to look at when I'm over there. What else have we got on the aircraft? We've got a ton of antennas. We've got 3 big antennas coming off of the top here. So what I could be doing is saying I want to line up the tail fin here with that antenna. And I know I'm doing it with the mouse, but you imagine I'm flying in this position. I want the edge of this tail fin, the elevator here, essentially, to line up with that antenna. And I want to try and keep it in that position. You saw there's a little bit of wind and stuff there. That's not me touching anything, that's wind in the sim. So I want to maintain that reference point of that elevator around that antenna. And it doesn't have to be, I mean, you see how much the aircraft's moving about, but that is also another good reference point. It means you're further away and you're further back, but again, it's a safe reference point when you're doing that. We can't really line up wings with like nav lights with pilot head, because the nav light with the pilot head would put us here. If we were flying parallel with lead, if we were the same altitude and flying parallel, then that is actually pretty good reference. We're actually putting it ahead with there. So what you want to do is try and get the nav light and the wings equal with each other, equidistant with each other. And in this instance, we'd be flying with lead, but we'd be looking like this out the window. It's not a good aircraft for me to do that because it's a high wing and this door frame is in the way. So you're not really going to see that. This is not an aircraft to formate off of the wings on when you're doing that, basically. Similarly, out the right window, you've got no chance. If you've got a co-pilot here as well, and you can't even see out that window, even though I bend down, I'd be trying to fly hunched like this. It's not a good positioning to do that. I'm doing that. If we were coming into slot, so from behind, an easy one with slot is basically the elevator, or your tail fin here, in line with the wings. So you want to get this vertical tail and the rudder essentially central to your compass in the cockpit. If you imagine the aircraft's in front of me, the rudder would be here. So you'd have the fins around here. You can use the gap between the blinds. So I'm leaning over right now, which you wouldn't do. You wouldn't fly leaning over. But essentially, for visual purposes, you could use these blinds very easily to say, I want the tail, the elevator, essentially, parallel to these blinds. And then the rudder needs to be in the position of the compass. You're obviously sitting here doing it, so you're looking very slightly like this. So you get a very slightly skewed angle at it. But if you're moving into slot, that is a very good position, which would put you, down about here probably, which again is a good safe distance. So I talked about there of having that there. You imagine, I mean, this is a good view actually from an external point of view. Excuse me, because it shows you what you could do when you're there. That's picking your site references. You could also come off, so if we were doing Vic and fingertip, you could align the edge of the tail fin with the edge of the wing here. You see I've just lined it up there with a mouse. So what I'd be doing is looking over here. What reference do we have? Well, we've got the blind we could use as reference again, because the blind we could have running along the wing or along the tail, depending how close you are. So you could say, I want the tail, you want the wing coming along here. But again, it depends on how much aircraft you can see. You've got this big bulbous bit sticking out of the cockpit here that may or may not get in the way. So finding a good reference site is, okay, we want to line up the edge of the tail fin with the edge of the wing. It doesn't have to be exactly on it, but there it's perfect. You can see that's almost a straight line running down here. Does that work with having the tail or the wing coming through this blind area here? Now it's going to be slightly off angle because of the angle that you're at towards that aircraft. But essentially that's what you're looking for. Is that, what can we do there? What does it look like? What's your visual site references? Other side, you can do the same thing again. Tail, running down the side of that wing. And again, like, this distance is good. Another aircraft at this distance is good. You don't need to be close. If you're going to be up close, then certainly with a 172, it's not a good aircraft to fly close with. So this kind of distance is really, really good to have that. But the problem with that is, what can you see? If you imagine I'm on this side of the aircraft, what can I see out of my canopy? This massive great big bubble thing here, this canopy frame here, that's not going to work. Although that's a perfect sight reference, that's not going to work when you're sitting in the aircraft. So when you're on this side of the wing, when you're on the right side of the wing, really kind of when you're looking out, using that Skies and Doles logo to have here puts most of the aircraft in frame. Like the propeller would be around about here. Like, imagine that Skies and Doles logo there. You want that around about here. You've got good sight of the aircraft. You might be like even half a mile away, it doesn't matter. Like, you're still within formation, essentially, of having that there. So, whilst things look good from the outside, and every aircraft is different, we're going to jump into a low wing aircraft. Okay, sorry, nav's coming left, I didn't realise about that. Apologies for that. Intercepted the line. This should bring us south-ish. There we go. The Garmin paints the boxes as well. That's so cool. I haven't flown the G1000 in a long time. So yeah, when you're looking at site references, it's very important that your view is not blocked, and this is not a good cockpit to fly on the wings of. The right hand side, yes, because you've got more visibility. This is right in your peripheral vision right here. So having the aircraft over here, you've got the EFB as well you could line things up with. But if you line the wings up with the EFB, then your aircraft is going to be pretty low. You're not going to be able to see it because it's a high wing aircraft. If it was a low wing aircraft and the wings are there, you can see the rest of the aircraft above the EFB. So you could use the EFB as an option to formate from. Again, depending, Skies and Doles logo here on the door, lined up with your air vent. These lights here are too far back to try and do it with. I would go with something like the air vent. So it's kind of getting to know your aircraft, getting to know what works for you, what is good for your formation, essentially, what is good for you to look at out of the cockpit. So what are you finding is best for you right now, in the position you're in? We've got tail. Slot's probably the easiest in this aircraft because you've got the blinds as a really good reference. I don't know if the blinds come down. Yeah, you don't want the blinds down because that's going to essentially mess up your view. Although it may, if it's cloudy and stuff, it is a good way to do that because you can say, okay, well actually if I had the wings here, I'm going to be right on the aircraft. I don't want that. So with the sun visors up, the wing level here, or the tail here, and then the rudder in the middle will give you a good position like this. We're looking from behind. And if you're close, you'll be looking like that. You imagine the blinds in the middle? You'd be looking like this. And trying to maintain that position. So you'd be looking, you're bouncing around, the aircraft's moving around, your different positions and stuff. You can see even the wind's doing it now. There's a little bit of drift. But it's a good position to be in. What else have we got? We've got gears that we can use. So we've got the gears and the gear struts that we could use as reference as well. So imagine we're back down here. We've got the nose wheel. The nose wheel could be coming down through this slot here. Well, it'd be around about here. You want it around about here. If you had it here, you wouldn't see too much else of the aircraft. But it'd be around about here. Nose wheel. And then you could have these beams coming up. So you could say, I want the cross-member section of the wing and this cross-member beam here to be along the line of my canopy. or the line, you know, if you can't do the line of this because it's above the canopy, so it's got to be visual. You could do it for this little attachment here, the little black bit here. You could do it along the line here. But an easy reference is essentially having those struts and those wings along the bottom of the visors. The visors are really good in here for reference. You've got good clean visibility here. You've got all of this space around here you can see. So that's a good reference point around about here while you're doing that. We've got Gatwick Airport off to our left over there, I think it is. We've got the coast coming up down here. And Gatwick should be around, Gatwick's over there. I fly over where I used to live. So with the 172 being high wing like this, there's not many choices. We've got, just to go over it again, we've got the roundel on the door on either side to line up with. You've got elevator and tail fin along the line of the wing on both sides, like this and like this. Sorry about that. Need to hydrate. You've got the wings themselves. So the wings themselves, looks like we're coming left slightly. Yeah, we've got left turn here. You've got the wings here. And in this instance, when the aircraft is banked around, you're still keeping your reference. So as that aircraft banks, lead would say coming left 10 degrees, coming left 20 degrees, something like that. And as that aircraft banks around, you want to maintain that position. So as they're banking like this, you also want to bank. Now, as you're banking around, you will need to power up. If you're on the right side, you need to power up to be able to keep that equal distance with that aircraft. If you're on the left-hand side, let's imagine this is lead, you're on the left, and you're banking this, you want to pull the power back. If you kept your power, you're going to creep up and take over lead, because essentially gravity is pulling the plane down like this. It's doing that with the plane. You need to reduce your power to be able to stay in position with that aircraft. And as they're rolling out, you're increasing your power to keep your position. So your hand on your throttle, I think I streamed my throttle last time I was flying and I was in formation position, it's constant movements. You're not just setting it and leaving it, it's constant movements, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Now this 172 is not that responsive from a throttle point of view. It really isn't. But it is something to think about, that the more you power up, the faster you're going to go compared to the other aircraft in front of you if they're level. So if I power up here, I'm going to do this. So let's say I want to relinquish lead. I want to let go of lead and let somebody else lead, and they're in formation with me. So let's say they're on my right wing. I'll say, okay, I want you to take lead. I'm getting quite tired in lead at the moment. I want to take lead. Now, the person up there has to acknowledge that. You're essentially handing over lead to that person. You've got two options. You can pull up and fly away, which is going to reduce your speed because you're pulling the nose up and you're pulling away from that plane, and then you can rejoin behind them. So essentially, as you're pulling up and you pull away, reducing your power, that second person that's going to take lead maintains their speed or speeds up a little bit, and then you're over here, you basically come round, you fly back, and you take position in slot or on whichever wing you want to do. If you're on the left hand side, because they started on the right, remember, then you're going to basically come under their tail and come up on the other side. You're doing that, or maintaining visual whilst you're doing that, this is not a great cockpit for doing that, but it is possible to do it in any aircraft. It's possible to do it in, essentially, when you're doing that. Or what you can do is you can say, I want you to take lead, you overtake. So by you saying you overtake is you keep your speed, you keep your position, you're not going to change that, but saying I want you to overtake basically means I can't be bothered to do all of this stuff to rejoin. I'm just going to carry on as I am. I want you to take lead. So if you're in echelon like this, then you would essentially pull out slightly so you're not going to touch any wings, and then you accelerate, and you don't need to go fast, like 5-10 knots faster, so you overtake, and once this person has got a visual of you, which would be at this point here, because I can't see anything out the wing, I can't see anything out the tail, I might be able to see them out the back there through the other passengers. Hey passengers. But really with this airframe, you're not going to see them until they're here. Once they're here and they're coming past, and they're coming past not fast, but they're coming past slowly up here, what you can then do is basically take it off autopilot if you're on autopilot, or basically pull the power back very slightly, roll over to the right. So the aircraft is here right now. You're going to roll over to the right, come behind them, into position here, and then slowly close the gap. You don't do fighter pilot maneuvers and start rolling over the top of them and do all that kind of stuff to try and do it, unless you're doing naval ops or you're doing Air Force ops or something like that. When I was flying with Linda the other day, and we were doing F-18s and that kind of stuff, I'm used to doing that, but I can easily fly straight by. We were in the A-10 actually. Even the A-10 is quite powerful. You can fly by very, very easily. So you're constantly applying the speed brakes to arrest your speed, to slow you down, basically, when you're doing that. But the idea is that you do everything nice and gently and smoothly. As you're coming over here, you can slide under. So you've got visual up here. You might be doing this while you're looking at it. So you're looking up here to make sure you're not going to hit them. But from a relaxing point of view, you still want to be doing this. So pull back more. You don't need to be directly under them. Pull back more to do that. Slide over into position, and then you'll end up in position here, essentially, when you're doing that. Let's just do a navigational fix check. Looking for the town I used to live in. These hills. Brighton is off over that way. We're going to come left towards Dover. This is heading down towards Seaford right now. The town I used to live in, we've missed it, is back here. It's around about over there. It's a lovely area. I used to come down here all the time. Lovely coastal walks all the way along Seaford. Down this way. So, yeah, I mean, transitioning, which you talked about, if you remember on the PDF for the transition. And I'll bring that. I can't bring the PDF back up, but essentially with that transitioning is it's slow movements. You don't want to be doing this, especially if you've got other aircraft there. You imagine you've got 2 aircraft on the wing, and if you've got 2 aircraft on the wing and you're relinquishing control to number 2, then number 2 essentially becomes lead. 2 and 3 will slide out, so 3 is following 2. 2 then powers up, and depending on what you've agreed, either the old lead would slot into position and 3 would then formate off of their wing, or 3 might move up and then the old lead comes in the back and you're running in that echelon line like that. It really depends. It depends on what you've agreed, it depends what you want to do, it depends on what lead is given the instructions for. There's so many variables to it on what you do and don't do. In terms of brevity, we haven't talked about that. I've not done that in the document. But in terms of brevity, you want to try and keep communications to a minimum. Like I'm talking about stuff right now. This is not good for formation flying. If you're doing proper formation flying, it would be short radio calls, short instructions. Like I said with Linda was formatting on me. Linda the other day said, I much prefer being in the lead. And I was like, okay, you take lead. That's a simple command, you take lead. And then I've essentially relinquished my lead to the other person, and the other person will tell me what they're going to do. I was like, okay, I'll take lead. I'm going to accelerate up on your left wing. I'm passing on your left wing. I then know to look out of my left wing on this particular aircraft. I might have to hunch down, but I know that they're going to come up along the horizon line. So they're basically going to come up along here where my mouse cursor is, come past me, accelerating past me, coming into my sight reference line. So if I imagine if I drew a box around here, that's my sight reference box, essentially. and they're coming into my sight box, I can then slowly move over because they've done this. They've come up ahead. I can then move over and form up on their wing when they're doing it. If they said, I'm going to come over on your right hand side, they're going to come behind my aircraft. So if I look at this position now, imagine they're back here, around about where my mouse cursor is. And they say, I'm going to take lead but come up on your right side. They've got to come across the back of me like this and then start coming up over here, over here, over here, up to here for me to then be able to formate up on them over my right hand side. That's a long procedure. A lot of things could go wrong there. So what you're better off doing is saying, I'll come up lead on the left hand side, just be where we've got a left hand coming up around about 40 degrees. 30 degrees. We're at 150 at the moment. It's about 30-degree turn coming up any minute. So, excuse me. So the best thing to do is essentially is come back from behind. If they're back here in this position, is for them to pull out slightly, come forward. So we're then looking at them coming over here, and then we move over to the other side. Rather than them essentially coming behind us, around us, speeding up and going that way. It doesn't make any sense to do that. It makes sense for them to take the shortest path, which is straight on, and essentially coming on straight on up here. You wouldn't be in the process of a turn while you're doing that, but essentially coming straight on. I'm on this side. If they want me on the left hand side, I'm the one that does the work. They just need to go straight. They just pull out slightly, power up, go straight. I then come across behind them and form up on their wing. So excuse all the hand gestures are the easiest way to explain this. They really are. I don't have a little I don't know where all my aircraft models are gone. I'll probably put them away. But if I got little aircraft models I can show you, like on Top Gun. Sloth, are you following all of that? But yeah, formating is fun. Like flying in formation is fun. We're coming down the beach towards Bognor at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure that's Bognor down there. Doesn't give me street map view. It looks like Bognor. Royal Sussex County Hospital. Okay, there must be a helipad on there. Yeah, there's a helipad. Oh, it's Brighton. Okay, this is Brighton. It's not Bognor. This is Brighton. Shout out to a courier Kami. Of course, it's Brighton. I can see the tower thing there now on Brighton Pier. And the cinema is just up there. It's not Bognor. Bognor's further down. Yep, it's over the top of Brighton. We're going to head to Seaford. We'll cut across to Dover. Or Dover's over here. Lid, Dover. What we might do is jump into EGMD, which is Lid Airport. That's quite a nice one to land at, actually. The flight is a little slower than I anticipated. Yeah, well, once we get past Seaford, we'll come and land at Lid. Let me just amend my flight plan here. And we're going to go to Lid. Which was EGMD. Cool. We can get rid of Dover. Yep, that's perfect. We can do that. We'll come to Lid marker and then we'll come around to land at runway 21. yeah, southeast coast of England, or south coast of England, with Brighton. All of the cliffs. That's where we're heading. So Seaford is just up here. This is our waypoint along the coast. And then Lydd is just out on that point over there. Dover is all the way over there. Yes, Brian, Swells. This is exactly where... Is it Pride this coming weekend? There you go. There's Brighton Pier out the back of the window. So the Pride Parade comes essentially down towards the pier and along the front here. But depending on the direction, actually no, it goes up to the park, doesn't it? So it comes along the front towards the pier. It goes up here to, I forget the name of the park. There's a big park up here. You've got a hotel on the pier. There's no hotels on the pier. Like near the pier or actually on the pier. Yeah, that's where you'll be staying. Over there. That's Brighton Pier. Don't worry, I'm looking out the window. I could just do this. Me stupidly looking out the window there. Yeah, that's Brighton Pier. So cool. You can have so much fun. It's so good. Yep, that's Brian. So, yeah, I mean, just coming back on the things of the formation, it really is enjoy flying. Like, the whole point of flying like this, like, okay, these aircraft, this one's got navigation, it's got the Garmin in it, it's got autopilot in there. Whereas something like the P40, you're flying it all by hand, or the Jenny I flew the other day, you've got no navigation. But with Jenny, you've also hardly got any visual cues that you can formate on either, because it's got such a huge wing everywhere. So it's really hard to see that. But yeah, the idea of flying is not to be looking down at the instruments like this all the time. The idea of flying is to look out the window. And the Cessna is good for that. I'm just quite tall. So whenever I've flown a Cessna, my head is up here. And the Piper Arrow, I'm a little bit more down. I'm hunched like in real life, but I'm down more here, and you can see a lot more coming out of there, a lot more out of the cockpit. So next week, next Wednesday, I'll do another one of these sessions. We'll talk about more formatting stuff. We'll try and get the aircraft visibility thing working as well. I don't know why that's not working. It's really strange today. It could be something I've changed because I was testing some stuff at work earlier. I probably hit a setting somewhere, but I was seeing other people flying earlier, but I will sort that. That's my issue, so apologies to everybody. But yeah, next week we'll choose a different aircraft. I want to work up to being able to jump into the F-18 and formatting on the F-18, but that's a few weeks away yet, because people need to be comfortable flying as they're doing there. I know Linda's not feeling well today as well, but I know Linda would have been around. But what I might do next time, I'll ask her to lead, and then I can be talking about the site references whilst I'm formatting on her. But yeah, these are called the Twisted Sisters. There's actually two rivers that merge into one down here. So the Twisted Sisters. Beautiful area down here. I love this area down here. Absolutely love it. So this would be Eastbourne down here. You got Brighton that way. Eastbourne down here. So the motorway actually runs back here. Crosses over back over there and behind this hill. And then you come down into Eastbourne. You've got another river there, so there's the other sister. So you've got this one back here, and you've got that one there, which are called the Twisting Sisters. It looks at the P. Like I said, you had to check. Brighton, the city of streamers. I love Brighton as well. It's so nice. Like Brighton, from where I live. So I live around the coast there is Dover, and where I live is a bit further up over there on the kind of the east coast. And it's about a 2.5 hour drive down to Brighton, but I love going down there. It's so good. Okay, we've got a left hand coming up here. We're over the top of Seaford, which is down here. I've camped out on the beach at Seaford. There was a barbecue event, which was really cool. There's your twisting sisters rivers. And then we're coming towards Lyd. So, like I say, we'll... let's come out the route here. And we'll head over to Lyd. We'll then come into runway 21. So as we get over this point, I'll take control, descend down. We'll land at runway 21. What I'll do is I'll switch into another aircraft to kind of give you the talk about the site references and the site pictures and those kind of things, what we can do there. Simulator Gamer Susie, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Hope you are. I love some of these names you guys have got as well. So good. Yeah, I'll get, for next week, I'll make sure my PC's sorted out. I can actually see other people. Because right now, I'm not seeing any name tags. So something has gone wonky somewhere. I've hit a switch somewhere. And I can't see other people. But they can see me, which is really weird. I don't know. Weird. What else to talk about? Formation. So formations, you would do numbers. So like I've got in the guide, you'll see there we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Red arrows is 1 to 9. Blue angels 1 to 6. Thunderbirds 1 to 6. And they're predetermined numbers basically. If there's 2 of you flying and somebody else is the lead, you are number 2. Automatically you're number 2. They are number 1. There's no arguments about that. Essentially, they are lead. If you take lead, you then become number 1. And they become number 2. But I'll give you an example. If number 2 has to break off for some reason, you would say 2 breaking off to the right, and then you essentially either break off so you're losing altitude because of gravity, you roll like this. Primary effect of controls is rolling. Secondary effect of control is that you drop. You've got gravity essentially. So as you roll over, your aircraft will start to yaw as well down towards the ground as it's doing this. So you've got secondary effects of controls. So you would peel off to the right, or break off to the right, or peeling off. A break is normally a little bit more aggressive. If you're peeling off to the right, it's a nice slow maneuver, but you can use the same terminology. 2 is breaking off to the right, and you can say 2 is breaking off to the right and recovering in slot. So recovering means I'm going to come back into formation. So breaking is breaking away, recover is to come back into formation. So if I'm flying like this, and say 2 is breaking off to the right to recover in slot, I'm going to pull away like this, either pull up or pull away. Imagine I'm just pulling away. I'm then going to slow down, and lead's going to go away from me because I'm slowing down. I then come back into slot. I come down below and close that gap. Okay, so that's 2 is breaking off to the right. You can say to rejoin in slot or to recover in slot. So you come off like this, back around, getting the picture of the aircraft. Because I've done this, I then lose sight of the aircraft, of lead. I need to be able to see lead to be able to get back and formate on them. So I'm going to break off like this, roll the wings back to the left so I can see them. I'm not going to shoot straight for them, obviously. I want to do what's called a lag pursuit. So lead pursuit is in front of the aircraft, so I'd be going like this to get in front. I would do a lag pursuit, which is behind. So I do a lag pursuit, so I'm looking at them. I'm then getting my sight reference. I'm then coming round behind the back. I'm rolling my wings to arrest my transition across the rear of the aircraft. So I do this, and I'm doing it slowly, and I gradually and slowly move up to get my sight reference and picture. So that's a little bit of brevity there, or brevity is like radio calls essentially for doing that. We'll do an example when we come into land down here. What we'll do is we're going to follow the route around. I'll take control. And what we're going to do is we'll come down over the runway and we're going to fly the length of the runway. And what we're going to do is what's called a brake to land. So remember, brake is moving and braking away, essentially. So a brake to land. So our runway's ahead of us. We're going to fly parallel down the runway, straight down the center line, and then brake to land. So what brake to land is that number one is going to pitch up, roll left or right, depending on the pattern entry. I'll probably roll left. Roll left and come around to then come and land on the runway. In the same time that I do one is, and I would say one is braking now, or one is pitching up to brake. There's different terminology, but essentially one is braking away from formation, which means that two needs to carry on going straight. Number two then becomes the lead, essentially, and in that two ship. Let me not knock my microphone off. So two carries on going, and then about another 300 yards down, they then pull up and brake off to the left to then come and land behind. And if you're in something like the Red Arrows, where you've got the 9 ship, they do it in an arrow formation, and then 1 goes, 2 goes, 3 goes, 4 goes, and whilst all of those aircraft are going, if you're at the back, you're changing your reference points because you're looking at lead, but lead is gone. So then I've got to look at number 2. If I'm on the right wing, I'm looking at number 2. When 2 goes, I'm looking at 4, which is who I'm off the wing as. When 4 goes, if I'm red 8, I go before 9. So 9 is looking at me to keep that distance. So 9 is looking up this line here to 1. 3 is going to go, 5 is going to go, 7 is going to go. There 9. 8 is going to go first. So 9 has to look at 8 and get their sight reference. That sight reference is changing all of the time down the line to look at where you're going. 8 pitches up, brakes over, 9 then comes over and brakes. That's how you do it in the Reds, essentially. Flying 9 aircraft in formation is very tricky. I used to train minimum 9 hours a week. We did training for the 9 of us for 9 hours a week minimum to be able to do the displays, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. And that's just a virtual team. Like, think about the real-time team and the hours they put in as well. But just for the virtual team to be able to replicate the Red Arrows was 9 hours training per week. That's why I can pretty much formate on any aircraft. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate the follow. Followers are anonymous. I can't see who's followed because I'm on my phone as well. But thank you for the follow. We got the fireworks on the screen. Yeah, normally I have everything on my second monitor. That decided to switch off. It's actually switched itself off now, but I've lost all the Discord and stuff, which is now hidden behind my flight sim. What else is there for formation flying? That's pretty much it, to be honest with you. The whole idea is to have fun. Is if you fly close, it's a sim. Does it matter? As long as you've got crashes off, which we have, it doesn't matter. If you fly into somebody, it doesn't matter. I used to train on the DCS server. There was a preset route. There was basically a 4-ship formation. You could record your flight, play it back, and then other people could come. I keep knocking my microphone off, and other people could come and fly with you. And I did something with Breitling like that, where you had a motion platform and it toured around Southeast Asia with the team. I did a whole solution for them, like a big dome screen, and it was really, really cool. And on one of the servers I used to train on, there was somebody that essentially got banned from the server because they weren't that good at formation flying. That wasn't their problem, but they just kept flying into you and out of you. And in the sim, like on this one, you see the plane coming through you, you can't see anything because essentially their plane is merging with your plane. And it got really tiring, and they eventually got banned off the server. But it's a shame because they were a really nice person, just sucked at formation flying. But yeah, have fun. Like, I love flying. It's If I had an aircraft, I had the money to have my own aircraft and a PPL, I would be flying most days if I had the money to do it. I get airsick though, so the flight sim is the next best thing for me. But all this area around here, I've lived at multiple places around this area. It's such a lovely area. And I've done experience flights and I've done flying around here as well. A friend of mine, Mike, is a co-owner. He shares ownership with some other people with a Piper Arrow. And I've got probably, trying to think, probably like 4 hours stick time in that over the course of like 3 years. Like, we don't go up flying that much, but when I go flying, I absolutely love it. There's no other feeling in the world for me. It's so good. Cool. How are we doing on fuel? Why is my fuel not going down? I've really done something to this aircraft. No one can see me. My fuel's not going down. Something very strange happened. I've screwed something up somewhere. We're going timber. Sloth, you need to get this. I need to teach you how to fly. Do you want me to go through primary and secondary effects controls? This is an aircraft. Ailerons on the wings here. I'm not going to waggle them. But essentially this part you can see here is the left aileron. This part here is the right aileron. They move up and down. So basically how aircraft flies is the propeller is creating thrust. So it's pushing the aircraft forward. Airflow is coming under the wings, under the tail, and along the fuselage to the rudder. That's essentially how it's all about airflow. You're managing your airflow. When you stall, it means there's no airflow over the wing, basically. And what you're doing with the ailerons is you're basically turning the aileron up or down, and they move in opposite directions. They do this. They don't go both together. They do this. If they did both together, then you would climb or you would dive, which is what the tail does, which is basically the elevator at the back here. The elevator moving up or down disrupts the airflow, causing the tail to go up or down. The ailerons on the wings going up or down causes the aircraft to roll. Okay. Now there's primary and secondary effects controls. Primary effects control is I move my stick to the left, the ailerons move, and the aircraft rolls. The secondary effect control is that the aircraft also yaws and your nose will come down. Your nose comes down at an angle like this, down towards the ground. That's a secondary effect control. The same with the elevator. When you're using the elevator to pitch up or down, you will get some yaw with the rudder. So the aircraft wants to slew when you're also doing that. Depending on the aircraft, if it's a fighter jet, you won't feel the secondary effects controls that much, basically. Certainly not with the elevator and with the rudder. Again, with the rudder, which is this big thing at the back here, with the rudder, if I slew the rudder left or right, that's the primary effect control. The secondary effect control is that the aircraft will roll as a secondary effect. Flying is awesome. You're definitely getting it. You're probably installing one to your PSU. Awesome. Get your power supply in. We can take you flying. How are we doing? Okay, we're coming up on the marker. The airport is off over here, if I remember. You can see it, yeah, if we zoom in. I think the airport's over here. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to an aircraft. There's a lot, obviously, with the Garmin navigation system as well, to learn all of this kind of stuff. But you don't need it, to be honest. You just need the instruments. So what's my speed? My speed is 106 knots right now. What's my altitude? 2,400. I'm flying what's called VFR, Visual Flight Rules. I know this area of England. Actually, over here I can go higher, but around Gatwick Airport on that area is essentially below 2,400. So putting along at 2,400 around here is really good. You don't need to learn all this navigation stuff. You can literally jump in an aircraft and fly. If the clouds are on, which I've got off right now, but the clouds are on, you say, right, I want you to point towards that cloud over there. That's how I learned to fly with the instructor. Was he took off, I took control of the aircraft about 30 feet off the ground once he was comfortable doing that. He knew I could. I've been flying sims for so many years, so we talked a lot about it. I took control of the aircraft, and he said, okay, come right 090. So I'm looking at my compass here. We're at 062. I come right due east, which is 090. So I'd come right to 090. He'd look out the window and say, right, okay, go towards that cloud over there. And then basically I turn towards that cloud and fly towards that cloud. I was like, okay, I want you to come left 30 degrees. So I'm flying at 062 right now. Coming left 30 degrees, I come to 032. Like it's not that difficult using a compass when you're doing it. A lot of the time use clock references. It's an old maritime thing. When you're flying aircraft, there's a lot of maritime references in aircraft. It's clock, so we are flying 12 o'clock on our position. I want you to come to 3 o'clock in our position, so I want you to come over here. So essentially we're turning 90 degrees from where we are around that position. Because you would say tally ho bandits 2 o'clock, and I'd look over here because I know that this is 12, this is 1, this is 2, and I'm looking up for bandits up here at 2 o'clock. Tally ho bandits 7 o'clock, I'm looking back out here over my tail. That's clock faces. So if you have instructors, a lot of times instructors will use clocks as well as doing that. Other aircraft coming towards you or flying not at you but towards you. You get this a lot in airliners. You'll get ATC calling up saying traffic 3 o'clock. Okay, I know it's out over this wing somewhere. Am I looking for it? I have visual on it. Visual traffic 3 o'clock. So they'll use the clock system as well, ATC, when they're doing that. Okay, cool. We are over the waypoint for lead. Airport is off to our right. Let's go and have a look. So if you're still following me, I'm going to accidentally yaw the airplane like mad. I'm going to come off autopilot. I'm going to reduce throttle. I'm going to drop down and we'll go check out the airport. Autopilot is off. Got my warning. I now have control. I'm going to throttle back because I am now coming down to the right. My throttle's this side, my stick is that side. I'm flying very weirdly today. But it's because I've got my keyboard in the middle here. Coming down here, looking for the airport. There's the airport in front of us. Pulling the speed back because I'm going to overspeed if I don't. So what we're going to do, we'll come out to the coast a little bit over here. We're going to fly down the runway. What is my stick sitting on? It's wobbling. So we'll do a bit of an aerobatic approach here. Why is this not sitting straight on my desk? There we go. That's better. Got a little wobble on my stick. We'll maintain our airspeed. And if you're in formation, like if somebody was in formation as well, then they'd be following me down on this point. And I'd say 2 go slot. Or you can stay on echelon, but like 2 go slot, so 2 would then go behind me. Then they're out of the way as I pull up. Keep an eye on our speed. We're going to get into that yellow band.
500.
Garmin's talking to me. And we'd essentially fly down the center line of the runway like this. I'm slightly off of it. maintain altitude, so I'm getting the horizon level. I'm looking at my instruments. I'm keeping the power on. Little adjustments. And at this point, I say 1 for the brake. I power up. I pitch up. I roll off to the left. I then reduce my power. I get my flaps down. I get my gear down. O-E-A-E, O-E-A-E. Hey, Lath. I took the jump scare away because I'm teaching. I'm doing a lesson. Okay, flaps are down. I'm going to trim. A bit too much there. So at this point, number 2 is like half a mile behind me because we've done that break. Runway's behind us. Let's bring this into land. Gear is fixed, so gear is definitely down. Okay, we're now crosswind. There's the runway. So I'm going to turn to base. Keep an eye on our speed. Looking out the window for the runway. There's the runway. We'll get rid of that tablet. Bring the power back. Over threshold. And we're down. Not on the centre line, but we're down. Okay, throttle's idle. We'll brake and want to vacate off the runway here to the right. So we'll let other people land. And 1 inch clear of the runway. You glowed broken coat, hang on to my headset. I have. It allows me to do this in the aircraft. I can look up and down, I can look and right, I can look at the passengers. It's basically head tracking. There's a thing on the monitor. Yeah, I've got my implant on the side of the headset. Strobe can come off, nav lights can come off. Tax lights on, I leave my landing lights on. Tax lights are on. We'll take number 2 position here. Yeah, it allows me to do this. Allows me to look around. Just line up a bit. And go up to the line. And stopping there. Cool. Parking brake is on. We'll cut the mixture. That'll stop the prop. Clear the warning. Mags off. Oh, all of these are off already anyway. Taxi lights off. Land lights off. Beacon off. We'll do the gens. We'll do the bats. We'll do the standby. There we go. We have a cold and dark aircraft. We can get out of it. Oh, we didn't put the flaps up. That's my bad. That's fine. So yeah, there we go. That is kind of like introduction to formation flying. Went through a lot of stuff there. I'll make that PDF available if people are interested in it. I'm still working on it, so once I've finished it, I'll make it available. I've already put it in the Skies and Dolls Discord. It's under our documents and add-ons and stuff folders down there. So go grab that, have a read of that. I hope that was helpful. I enjoy teaching. I like teaching people how to fly. So I hope that was helpful to people watching as well. Flaps down, yep, shaking your head. Bad pilot. I completely forgot about the flaps. I could do this and get back out again. There's no power to the aircraft, so I won't put them back up. There we go. Of course it won't. Shaking your head. Bad pilot, bad pilot. Yeah, so I will do another session next Wednesday, 7 PM UK. This has been good. I've enjoyed this. It's been, what, 2 hours, roughly? Which is good, which is about what I thought it would be, 1 to 2 hours to go through stuff. But I'll make sure I get it all set up that I can actually see people flying as well. And then we can... we'll choose a different aircraft as well. So we talked about the site reference of this for the Skies and Dolls livery. Thank you to Freya, who's made all of the liveries as well for Skies and Dolls. Absolutely amazing liveries. Eventually, we're going to work up to me flying an Airbus and having people flying F-18s and coming in, intercepting it and formatting up on its wing. That's kind of the end goal of this course that I want to do. But there's a few steps we need to do before that. There's a few things that people need to get used to because an Airbus is going to be flying at 20-odd thousand feet and you've got to be able to intercept that. But we're going to use all of the default aircraft when we're doing that. You are more than welcome, Sloth. You are more than welcome. I'm glad it's interesting. So the main thing about flying, the main thing about formation flying is enjoying it. Enjoy flying. Like, enjoy flying around. Like, that's the most important thing. I'm going to jump back to the main menu. I'm going to jump in an F-18 and I'm going to show you what an F-18 looks like and what kind of site references and pictures you have on an F-18. And we'll do some fast jet flying for 20 minutes or so. So let me jump out the Cessna. Let's pick up the Hornet. We are going to shoot over to Nevada. Let's have a look at McCarran. Where's McCarran? There's McCarran. So we're going to go from Nellis. We'll start on the ramp. We'll start this thing up. I think I can remember how to start it. And I'll show you what an F-18 looks like from the cockpit to be able to do some stuff, which is good fun. I love flying fast jets. Fast jets are my favourite. I love flying fast jets. I need to change all these throttles because they're independent throttles without knocking my drink all over my PC. That would not be good. Why have you put me in that? I selected an F-18. That's not why I selected. That's not why I selected. Not taking that off from McCarran. Right, free flight. F-18 Super Hornet, please. This one. Save. F-18. There we go. Go from Nellis. Right, definitely select an F-18. So we spawn in a Cessna again. My sim is doing some very strange things today. Let me check Discord briefly. There we go, that's better. We're in a fighter jet. Sim not working, never. I know, right? Okay, let's get rid of some things. Let's get rid of the chocks. Let's get rid of some covers. Let's get rid of some engine intakes. We need to get rid of our pin down here. I'm going to assume the techs have done all of the walkarounds and stuff. I just want to make sure I've not missed any pins. Looks like we're good. Cool, cool, cool. Everything is clear. We don't have any audience on today. That's fine. Let's get into the cockpit. Okay, in we go. Welcome to the cockpit in F-18 Hornet. Amazing aircraft, this thing. So let's get things started up. I need to remember how to fly this now. We put a battery on. We put a generator on. We do. We put both gens on. We get some screens coming up. As you can imagine, in the Hornet, you've got amazing visibility, but very little reference points because it's all glass. So your reference points are going to be off of your canopy, off of your HUD, off of that kind of stuff. I have no legs. I have no legs. No. APU can come on. Put our anti-skid on. All the other switches are good. We don't want to dump our fuel, that's for sure. Okay, let's crank an engine. RPM's coming up. There we go, you'll see the nozzle start to change. That is good. Let's crank right. Left is running, right is running. Right spooling up. We've got engine sound. It is the F-18 cockpit, you see. I love flying this. So good. Okay, we're going to link our throttles together now. Engines are running. Ignitions will come off. Spooling up. Fuel's injecting in. Okay, ejection seat is armed. Let's get some lights on. Want the cold because it's nice and warm in here. Okay, APU is off, starter is off, engines are up and running. All the tanks are on, everything is on there. Everything on is down there. Cool, we are good to go. So yeah, the thing with an F-18, like if I'm formatting on this, it's a big glass bubble canopy. So you want to be formatting using references would be this handlebar here, this handlebar here, in line with the mirror up the top here. Like there's a lot of stuff that you'd be getting references on. Let's go taxi out. We'll do some fast flying. Okay, nose wheel's on high, that's good. Show you the world out, Mel. I will. One of the best jets to fly. Oh yeah, I love the F-18, it's so good. Throws poop. What are you throwing poop at? Oh, you're throwing poop at Buddy. Wow. I need to move my stick to the center of my desk. I can fly this properly. Let's move my keyboard back. Grab up my stick. Move the mic. If you're interested in my specs, it's exclamation mark specs.
I'm so slow.
Thank you for the shout, Trez.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now I get back to the other. No! 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 Stranger, no!
If you're not following Mel, please go follow Mel. We love Mel to absolute bits. Mel is a very special bean.
Oh my god, it's going faster, it's going
But he
faster,
loves
it's
it
going
more.
faster,
What,
it's
throwing
going
the poop?
faster.
I need to move the mic. It's out of the way so I can actually fly this by hand. Right, let's get going a little bit. Now I can concentrate. Yeah, please go follow Mel. Thank you for sorting that out, Trez. I see a runway. We are going to go low. We're going to go fast. That's why we fly fast jets. But yeah, formation in this with a big airliner is nice and easy. Formatting on another F-18, we'll do it at some point. I'll show you. It's also good fun. Okay. Entering 2-1. We can put normal nose wheel steering on. We don't need nose wheel high. Looks like the Nevada Strip right in front of us. Should we go fly down the strip for fun? No, you, Mel. No, you. It's been a good day, thank you. Work's been very chill today. I've been looking after and helping out some other teammates, which has been really nice. Getting to know other people in the business. Let me just reset my view. There we go. We are good to go. Brakes are on. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate the follow. Yes, I've got the Thrustmaster Warthog and the pendulum pedals. Okay, let's get some. Feel the heat. Get the afterburners going. We're in the air already. Gears coming up. We'll do a Thunderburst takeoff. Whirling up. And rolling out. This is why the track AR is really good for doing this kind of stuff. Come out of mil power. And then let's go and buzz the strip. How was your stream, Mel? I caught some of it, but I then had to come and get a lot of stuff set up for this. I'm loving arcing at the moment. I'm loving watching your arc stuff as well. Okay, let's try not to crash on the strip, but let's go and buzz the strip. A lot of things we can crash into down here, so we've got to be careful. A toot Earth! I'm flying through Las Vegas at the moment. We're flying down the strip. That's a building. Let's abort that one. Going too fast. What was that? I missed what that was. To this, subscribe 21 months. Did it feel like you only subscribed the other day? Thank you. Yeah, that's really not legal. It was great. Honestly, just vibing today, building. Yeah, it's so cool. You've got some amazing tunes. Your playlist is a fire. So good. Thank you, Lucy. Take care. I hope you feel better. No, that's definitely not legal. Going full afterburner down here as well. Definitely not legal. We'll come up and over the top. Putting a lot of G's over the top. There we go. That's why I love head tracking. If I'm doing combat stuff, head tracking is the way to go. Yeah, so formation on this, all of this is air. Like, it's glass. You can't see much on it at all. So it really is a case of getting a good... That's why like the angels fly very close to each other. I am flying the F-18 Super Hornet. I was flying a Cessna just now, but I'm flying the F-18 right now. But I'm going very fast. Let's put some speed brakes out. Very fast to fly down the strip. That big bright thing needs to be a smiley or something. Yeah, I'd get so busted for doing this in real life, that's for sure. Very loud, oh yeah. Metal thief. Cool. So yeah, we'll do some formation stuff on F-18. Let's go and put it on the deck. Let's get the speed brakes out. Slow down. Coming in very fast right now. .200 knots, gear can come down. Put the boards in. We put the thing on the thing, we put our velocity vector index, our VVI, on the edge of the runway. That's where we're going to land, that little ball in the middle. And we bring this, we want our E bracket, pitch ladder. About in the middle when I touch down. We hit the deck. There we go. That was very slow. Almost stalling speed. Boards are out, brakes are on. There's our F-18. Very cool aircraft to fly. Come off the taxiway, we'll go shut down and then we'll end the stream. Yeah, really good area to fly. This is a fun area to fly around as well. A lot of mountains around here. Really cool. I took this up to... Excuse me. I took off from here, flew up to Area 51, refueled. There were about 5 people flying around Area 51, so I was doing intercept stuff with them. It was really cool. I like flying this more in DCS, I have to say, the Microsoft Flight Sim. I love developing the Microsoft Flight Sim. I love developing in DCS. But this is such a blast in DCS. It's proper combat stuff. And the Viper as well. I love flying the F-16. Let's go park it up over here. In the run-up area. Nose wheel steering on high. Swing the nose around. Hit the brakes. There we go. Park and brake on. Let's shut these engines down. Switch things off. Get out the aircraft. Where's the canopy? There. There we go. Yeah, beautiful aircraft. Even in here, they've modelled it really well. Open up all the avionics doors and things. Breakers door, so cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, DCS 18 is peak. So good. So good. But yeah, I think let's come back to cat cam. I can move things out of the way. There we go. Back to cat cam. Can come out the sim to main menu. I can actually bring up all my Discord with some bobs. No audience on this because we've got another hype chest. Awesome. Let's share that one. Choo choo. We've got a little confetti hype. We've got a new emote. There we go, chat. New emote. Can I gigantify that? Thank you for the hype train earlier. That's what we got. There's one of those on the channel. Thank you. No ordinance to this. It is a Xbox game, Peggy 3, I think. So they didn't get the rating for the ordnance stuff, whereas DCS is like 18 and stuff. But yeah, I hope you found that useful. Yeah, you missed the hype train earlier. That's fine. Thank you. I appreciate your resub as well. Thank you so much. You're amazing. You're a huge support of this channel. Thank you. So yeah, that was good fun. I hope you guys have learned some stuff about formation flying. I will sort my system out so next time you can actually see other people flying with me. I know a few people weren't feeling great today. Yeah, I've got DCS and I will load it on my machine. And if you guys are interested in the flying stuff, then I'll happily fly. Like, I will learn the F-16. If you guys want to see flying stuff, I'll learn to fly the F-16. I'll learn to drop the bombs on the F-16 and missiles and everything else. I've flown it before, but I never learned anything on it. But I will learn the F-16 and we can do that on the stream together. If you want to see me fly some stuff and combat stuff, happy to do that. Yeah, thank you for all the follows. Thank you for all the subs. Let me just go back and see here. Thank you for thank you for the hype train. That was certainly amazing as well. Level 278. Thank you for that. I've missed a lot of this stuff. Okay, cool, buddy. I will do it for you. I will learn the F-16. I'll figure out what day I'm going to be doing that stuff. Yeah, thank you to Alison for the gifted subs as well. That was amazing. Don't forget to get your daily kitty scratches. That's now enabled. So you can get daily kitty scratches on here. I'm trying to get it so it shows the video on the screen, but I can't quite work that bit out. But I will figure that one out as well. Yeah, thank you to everybody for coming along. I hope that was useful to you. Shout out to everybody in the Skies and Dolls, all my lovely ladies that are flying as well. I love flying with you. It's been amazing to have that outlet where I'm not feeling great. I can jump in a plane and fly around with you and just not even have to chat and talk. Just flying. It's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, thank you to everybody. B52. I think it's a B52 coming for Microsoft Flight Sim. Maybe out. I'm not sure. But yeah, thank you. Sloth, get your PSU installed. I can teach you to fly. We'll do that on stream as well. We'll do a collab where I'm teaching you how to fly. That'd be amazing. I like doing that. I'm also going to be doing some collab with Sloth for Minecraft Cottage Witch. Sloth and Alex are on, let me dismiss these, snooze this ad. Sloth and Alex are on a Cottage Witch server. So I'm going to be doing Cottage Witch collab with Sloth as well at some point. But yeah, I enjoy teaching. Like, I used to teach air cadets how to fly, so I enjoy doing this stuff. I enjoy doing formation stuff. Again, for me, it needs to be fun. Like, I learn a really boring way, but let's have fun doing it. Let's really have fun with it. A thing coming to Microsoft Flight Sim as well, which was announced earlier this week, is the multiplayer aspect. Is 2 of you can be in the same cockpit. So that's going to be cool. When that comes out, I definitely want to stream that because that's going to be fun. If you guys want to learn how to fly an Airbus or a Boeing, I can teach you that as well. We can do flying stuff. We can pick a flying day and do a flying day if you want to do that. But yeah, let's do it. That'd be so fun. It'd be so cool. That's cool. We'll get Buddy in DCS as well. Buddy, you come in DCS and we'll all fly the F-16. We'll all learn how to do it. How's that? Cool. Right, let's go and see who is live. Ba-ba-da-ba-dam. We raided Peach the other day. We raided B the other day. I'm going to jump on and do some Ark, but not stream it, because I need to get some food. And Reaper is playing Ark. Let's go and raid Reaper. Let me just bring up Twitch over here. Twitch.tv. If I was playing... yes, drums. Saturday morning, 10 AM, drum stream. Let me open up the song requests. Stream elements, where are you? Because you guys can start doing the song request, even offline you can do it. Other, media request. Viewer request should be on. Swirly's already put some stuff in there by the looks of it. Avril Lavigne. There's some Fall Out Boy in there as well. Cool. Okay, song requests. You can do in the chat !SR and then a link to a YouTube video is the best way of doing it for the song request. So I'm going to go to YouTube right now. I am going to go and find a song. Let's say, I don't know, The Kill, 30 Seconds to Mars, official video. I'm not going to play the advert. Thank you very much. You can mute. I don't want you going on stream. Where's all my controls gone? No. Stop it. Right. Share. Copy. So you do !SR and then the link to the YouTube video. That then gets added to the queue, as you can see there. The Discord link isn't working. My Discord link? That's weird. I will certainly do that. Give me 2 seconds. Discord. Why is that Discord link stopped working? That should be a permanent link. Invite people. Edit invite link. Expires. No, never. Never. Generate a new link. Copy that. Okay, that's the link to Discord. Come join as well on there. Maybe. I've done generate a new link anyway. So yeah, !SR, a link to the YouTube video. Or I think the Spotify link as well works. 10 o'clock Saturday morning, I'm going to be on the drum kit, which is sitting over there right now. Playing your songs. I've not played in so long. I played for 10 minutes the other day with my son on the kit. That was it. So yeah, that's going to be so much fun. What day are we? Wednesday. Friday, I'm going to be back on doing Ark and the drumming stream on Saturday morning. And then Sunday will just be Ark and Chill, which is where I don't talk or camera and stuff, just chilling out, playing Ark on that. But yeah, thanks to everyone coming along today. I appreciate you all. We're going to go and raid Reaper. No, that's now got the Discord link. Of course it has. Reaper's playing Ark. Reaper is such an amazing streamer. I love their streams. Such a good vibe. Like such a good vibe. That started that one. We're going to do raid calls. Raid 1 if you are subbed. Raid 2 if you are not subbed. You are more than welcome I hope it was useful for people. I know people are going to watch the VOD back as well. We'll go through stuff. And next Wednesday as well, doing the same thing. Part 2 of formation flying. Take care, everybody. Make sure you go hydrate, get some food like I'm going to do. Love you all. I see you all very, very soon. And bye.